Hi there, Malcolm here with my 85th Booktube video, and today I'll be bringing you January's TBR. Blimey! Let's get cracking. First up, I'm going to try and finish off Left Behind Apollyon, book 5 of the Left Behind series by Tim LaHaye and J.B. Jenkins. The second coming has been and gone, and those left behind on planet Earth are in a world of hurt. So you have a bunch of new believers trying to survive in an ever-increasing world of oppression, as more trials and tribulations are rained down on the hapless population of planet Earth. I'm rereading the series. My first reading I found it quite inspirational. My second reading I'm just finding it flawed, but yeah, I'm going for it. Once I finish that, I'll then read my book of the month, Aliens Criminal Enterprise, which will be the first of the two books in this omnibus, because you can't seem to get hold of them individually anymore. And that's by Stephanie Danielle Perry, or S.D. Perry as she's written it here. And let's see a guy who's a pilot for an illegal drugs company on a planet. And it just so happens that the cartel he's working for use xenomorphs as their guardians. Yeah, that's not going to go horribly wrong, is it? Just started. So far it's been okay. Looking forward to actually picking up or doing something interesting. I'm going to finish that one, so I'm not going to read both of those this month. I'm just going to read the first one. I'll then move on to Mammoth, Long Tusk. This is the third time I've waved this saying I'm going to read it. I might actually manage it this month. In the previous book, Silverhair, Long Tusk was referenced as a legendary mammoth whose mighty deeds have been passed down from mammoth to mammoth through the ages. This is his story. It's a bit of a prequel to the first one. Highly readable, very enjoyable, particularly for Stephen Baxter, who I find quite dry and hard going at times. Might enjoy it, but he's hard going. Yeah, really eager to read this one. And when I do, I'll then hopefully get on to Colony by Rob Grant, best known as being co-writer of the Red Dwarf series. And in a very similar vein, this is a space-worthy satire comedy where the guy who is merely a head in a jar has to try and save the day. I have read it before, but can remember very little about it actually. So looking forward to giving this one another go. And if I get through that, I'll then be on to Monster by Frank Peretti. It's a supernatural thriller. A man and his wife go on a survival weekend in the woods, and they're not alone out there. Ooh, there might be a monster. So looking forward to this one. And if I do get through this, I'll then move on to the Science Fiction Hall of Fame 1929 to 1964, a series of short stories written in that era. And it's edited by Robert Silverberg. So contains 26 short stories from those who could be considered to be the grandparents of modern sci-fi. Isaac Asimov, Alfred Bester, Arthur C. Clarke, Robert A. Heinlein, Ivan Vogt, Ray Bradbury, James Blish, among many others. I'll be lucky to start this one in this month, let alone finish it, but who knows. I do like a good science fiction short story, and hopefully there'll be at least one in here. Anyway, regardless of where I get to that, with 10 days left to go in the month, I will then stop everything and go on to Relics by Tim Lebbon. I've read quite a bit of Tim Lebbon now, and I've enjoyed most of it. It's a story surrounding the underground black market trade of arcane things, such as fairies, goblins, and other fantastic creatures. There's missing people, there's crime lords, and there's all these weird creatures as well. Has all the hallmarks of an urban fantasy, and I've enjoyed the ones I've read lately. So looking forward to this. For my graphic novels, I hope to finish my Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron series. I'm missing a few, so I have to read those online first, but hopefully once I've done that, I can then read Masquerade. But until I do, I'll be reading the physical copy of Star Wars Mara Jade by the Emperor's Hand. If you ignore the dross that Disney's pushed out lately, Mara Jade is Luke Skywalker's wife-to-be. Neither of them know it yet, but in the original undisneyfied timeline, Mara and Luke have a child who they name Ben. Yes, Disney, you're thieves. This sees her as the Emperor's Hand, undergoing various missions on behalf of the Emperor, and doing pretty well, unless it's assassinating Luke, in which case she does a really rubbish job, but it's one that she doesn't want to leave unfinished. And of course it's a compulsion that leads her to actually falling in love with the chap and marrying him. So, you know, good stuff. And I'm still reading The Walking Dead, The Road to Woodbury by Robert Kirkman and J. Bonanzinga while I'm boiling the kettle. Kettles don't take very long to boil, so I'm only reading this at one page, one paragraph at a time. So although I'm not flying through it, I'm enjoying it. Now, normally during my lunch break I read. While I'm not working, I have the option of reading anything in the house, including big books I wouldn't want to drag into work with me. This is Star Wars, The Old Republic Encyclopedia. It's all about the MMORPG. Game I've not played, but I enjoy reading about it all because it's Star Wars. And I've played Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. And to everyone else in the house, I read The Edge Chronicles, The Twig Sequence, Book 3, Midnight over Santrafax by Paul Stewart and Chris Riddle. I'm reading this to my younger son. A massive, great big storm is going to threaten the floating city of Santrafax, and it's down to Twig and his crew to tell everyone and warn them that it's going to happen. Unfortunately, they've all had their memories wiped and they don't know about it. Crazy fantasy with wonderful creatures and wonderful illustrations by Chris Riddle. This has gone down very well with my youngest. Kaboom! To my oldest, I'm reading Elephant Adventure by Willard Price, where Hal and Roger go to Africa to collect elephants for various zoos around the world. And here they learn all about elephants and the cultures of those who live where elephants exist. Written very much of its time, but a nice little time capsule for that time about how things were. Yeah, he's really into these. And to them both, I'm reading the 4th Tiffany Aching novel by Terry Pratchett, I Shall Wear Midnight, from the Discworld series. And this one, Tiffany Aching, now a proper witch, is witching it up. We're over 100 pages in and nothing really of note has happened. It's just, things that Tiffany gets up to, looking after people, dealing with things, situations. I would say as Tiffany has gotten older, I think she's 16 now, so is the content. But the boys are still enjoying it, but they have asked me when the story's going to start. Because like I say, nothing's really happened yet. According to the blurb, there's a ball of evil that's going to cause some problems, but apart from a couple of vague hints that something might be coming, there's been no indication of anything yet. Possibly not the best of the series, but it's got its moments, and the boys were delighted to see that the Toad was back. We've not seen him for a while. Anyway, that's that one. And to my wife, I'm still reading Wanderers by Chuck Wendig. We're about a third of the way through now, and in this one, a whole bunch of people start sleepwalking for no apparent reason. Started with this one person, and then somebody else joined, and then another person. They're all walking in the same direction, they're all walking together, and they're pretty much indestructible. Apart from when you stop them, when they explode quite violently. There's also a weird disease that's taken place elsewhere, possibly related or not, I don't know. It's not exactly fast with coming out with answers, but it's very intriguing. And as the number of walkers grows, I think we've reached 300 now, the tension is slowly building. It is a slow burner, but it's a good one. Really enjoying this. Just really hoping we get some sort of answers. And there you have it. That's my planned reading for this month. I don't expect to read all of those. Certainly I hope to read everything up to the Science Fiction Hall of Fame at least, but we'll see. However you are you interested in reading any of those? I'd love to know your thoughts on them, so please leave your comments down below. Or what's your favourite short story collection? As usual, if you have nothing nice to say, then please do keep it to yourself. Thank you, and until next time, see you later.